There's a method to the madness. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your December soul session. I am Princess India. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend and whatnot. Over tether. What tether? What tether? I meant whatever. What tether? That's strange. Anywho, if you're unfamiliar with what my soul sessions are, they are my spirituality as well as personal development readings, where we look at the energies that you guys may encounter this month and any advice and guidance we can give you in reference to those challenges and energies. And if you don't know, which you may, I did a collective reading, which is an overall energy for all 12 signs, my friend, because December is Surrender December for me. Do this every year. You know, it's a whole little purge process that we go through. So to make this reading make more sense, you may want to watch that first so you have a framework how to apply what it is that comes out in this particular reading. So anywho, let's go ahead and get into your cards, my friend, and see what is going on for the Sag Collective. Happy birthday, by the way, for December. Let's see here. We have a central energy, a challenge, a past influence, and future possibilities, our above energy, as well as our below energy and under the deck. Okay. That's fascinating. We have the star in the reverse. That's Aquarius energy. That's interesting because that's the card that was in the center of the spread in the collective reading. So here's the deal, Sag. The card that came up for you guys in the surrender deck, my favorite deck, was surrendering stress, right? So I feel that that's directly correlated to this underlying energy, because with the star in the reverse, we're speaking about feeling bleak about the present as well as the future, feeling as if hope is lost, feeling overlooked, feeling as if, you know, you've done so much work in the direction of something, but not like getting the recognition that, you know, you feel that you deserve in so many words. But the whole key is here, I feel like you guys are really being a little too hard on yourself, Sag. I feel if you were to survey everyone who's in your vicinity on how great of a job you're doing, people would agree with you're doing a great job. People would feel like you're probably doing above and beyond, but I feel that it's more or less like a perfectionist kind of vibe where, you know, the standard to which you guys hold yourself is, and not saying you shouldn't have high standards, but I mean, I feel you, but it's the highest ideal being perfection, and that's not fair to yourself. So I feel it's more or less like a repeating pattern in the sense of you guys putting a lot of pressure on yourself to achieve something, but what it is that you're seeking to achieve is perfection, and it's unfair to yourself because you'll keep missing the mark and beating yourself up for it and trying to work harder. What I said in the collective reading for you guys was it's the equivalent of like working the program but not allowing the program to work for you. You know what I mean? So I don't know, it's kind of like a hasty feeling that I'm feeling with this, but I feel you guys are feeling hella bleak about things shifting or about things changing, or it just feels it feels like it just let me just say it like this, and I'm gonna leave that card alone. There's a stark contrast between where you guys perceive yourself to be and where you actually are. And it's a great deal to do with a mindset and your standard that is blocking you guys from happiness, or blocking you from truly experiencing how good you guys have it at present, if that's making sense. It's almost being too obsessed with the destination that you're completely negating the journey. But the lesson that everyone learns eventually is that it was never about the destination, and it was about the journey. So it's more or less, I'm feeling there's a lot of proverbial Easter eggs that you guys are missing on the journey. And this is about to become a whole thing from one card. Okay, Sag, what I'm seeing is you guys are very focused on an end goal, right? It's something you're trying to get to. You're not there yet. So you're getting discouraged, right? And you're losing hope you're ever going to get there. However, because you're so fixated on where it is that you're going, you're not realizing that right here in the present moment, like you are where you are in your life right now because you need a lot of stuff where you are, but it's almost like disassociating because and putting all of your energy into getting to this end goal and neglecting the present. And while you're doing that, it's like all the stuff that you need for the target is here, but because you're disassociating from the present, trying to get to the future, it's like you're prolonging hitting the target, because it's like, if we looked at it as a staircase, you need building materials to build the stairs to your goal, right? But it's like, you never noticed that you were supposed to build a staircase, or that you even had materials to build the staircase, because it's like you're running full force towards this goal and you wonder why it keeps moving. So it's like a shifting target is how I'm seeing it. And the reason why you're losing hope is because every time you think you're close, it's like it moves again. And it's because you can't walk there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how the sun and the moon are in the sky. It's like, it looks like if you were to run really fast towards it, you'd be able to like get close. But the closer you get, the farther away it moves, because it's not even on Earth, it's in outer space. You feel what I'm saying? So the only way to get there is to get in a spaceship and to leave Earth and go to don't go to the sun. It's not smart, but anywho, but that's how I'm seeing it with you guys. It's like, it's a proverbial staircase you're supposed to build, and you have all of the materials around you. And this completely correlates with the collective reading. Because with the magician that we had over there, it was saying you have all the resources around you, but you're so focused on trying to get to the end goal that you're not even realizing that everything that you need to get there is here and now, but you're neglecting the here and now because the here and now isn't the future, if that's making sense. And that's what's causing you guys to feel so bleak and hopeless about the future. So I'm gonna leave that there. But anywho, your central energy, we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Ooh, child, this is challenged by the 10 of Wands in the reverse. And your past influence is the 8 of Cups. Okay, so here's the deal. With the 8 of Cups, we're talking about you guys coming out of November and coming into December, carrying something that is no longer serving you. Now, the thing that you're carrying that's no longer serving you is preventing you guys from transitioning into your future or transitioning into a state of being that you would prefer. This thing is acting like a great blockade to you guys even seeing that you are in the right place with the star in the reverse. Excuse me. I think it's sage smoke that got me choking like this. But anyway, with the central energy being the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, it's more or less feeling that yet and still again, it's something that you guys have put a lot of time, effort, and energy into that isn't awarding the payoff or the opportunity that you guys hoped it would. At the same time, with the challenge being the 10 of Wands in the reverse, you guys challenge this month is to release all of this unnecessary energy that you guys are carrying with you. You know, it's more or less like, and this is literally going back to this, this collective reading. I talked about Gemini and Sagittarius, how they were two sides of the same coin, right? It's, the energy is more or less, you guys are so fixated on achieving or gaining or doing whatever it is that you guys are doing, that it's you're not allowing any room for spirit in your experience. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a mentality like, if I don't do this, no one's gonna help. I understand that, you know, in reference to humans and everything. But when it comes to your spiritual belief system or a higher power, what have you, whatever it is that you guys believe. It's like there's not leaving any room in here for spirit to intervene on your behalf. Or if you just believe in the laws of the universe, there's no ability for the laws of the universe or planetary transits and their energetic influence on our lives to work in your favor, right? Because with the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, it's more or less looking at your situation from a lack mentality. It's not having. It's looking at it from not enough. You know what I mean? It's feeling as if I'm overburdened and I'm doing all of this stuff and, you know, I'm carrying all of this stuff and I have to do all this by myself and nobody's helping me. And it's like, I'm still not getting a benefit. However, it's coming into the month with the 8 of Cups energy, which is the fact that you're carrying a proverbial dead corpse on your back. And I believe that proverbial dead corpse is a mindset, you know? It's a mindset of how it is that you're perceiving your experience. And it's the thing is that, and I stress this a lot, y'all, if your mind doesn't change, your life never will. You know, it's like if you're perceiving your experience from this perspective, that, you know, there's no bigger rhyme or reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like what this is saying to me is that there's a need for my Sag people to recheck their belief system, you know, because okay, I'm trying not to get too wordy, but I feel like I can't help but to get extremely wordy. When you're looking at your life circumstance, right? And if you feel that you're fighting and you're putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into something and it's not panning out, your belief system comes in at that point to sort through that. It's like, when do I do work towards something, right? And it doesn't work out? Like, what does that mean? Does it mean that I need to look at how much work I'm really putting in? Do I need to look at where it is I'm putting in the work? Am I really in the right space? Is this really what I want to do? You know what I'm saying? It's like, these are questions one would want to ask themselves, right? But it's kind of like the vibe I'm getting is more or less a person who isn't, you know, like getting fruit. Okay, maybe I should use like a plant explanation for this. If you are sowing seeds in the ground and nothing's growing, Sag, right? So you have a farm, right? And you're sowing seeds in the ground and you're watering them. And this is, I said the same thing in the collective reading. You're watering them, you're giving them sunlight, but nothing's happening. It's like, that's when you need to reassess, right? Because when you put seeds in the ground, they're supposed to grow. Just like when you put in hard work, there's supposed to be a payoff, right? Like with your job, you work a whole week or a 2-week period, depending on how you get paid, you're going to get a paycheck for your effort, right? So the same with everything in life. So if you sow seeds into the ground and nothing is growing, it's time to reevaluate, because seeds are supposed to grow when they're in the ground. So that means something's wrong. So now I need to get to the root of what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is it the seeds, right? Is it the soil, right? Because it can only be one of the two, right? Because you are watering, you know what I'm saying? You're giving it sunlight. You're doing everything it is that you're supposed to do for a seed to grow. So the problem can only be one or two things. You know what I'm saying? Now, did you buy a whole batch of bad seeds? And it's the thought of like, okay, no, because I planted these same seeds on the other side of the farm and they grew. Or your next door neighbor bought the same seeds, you know what I'm saying? And they grew by them, right? So the next thing it could possibly be is it's the soil. So now we're going to test the soil. And if we find out something is wrong with the soil, then that means that we need to plant these in better soil, because they're not going to grow in this soil that doesn't have nutrients in it. And it's the same approach that we take to life. It's like when you're doing something and it's not working, it's time to reassess, not to look at, you know, the seeds and it's like, oh, this always happens to me, or da 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 da. It's like, no, fixating on the problem. And that's what I'm seeing with the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like fixating on the problem isn't giving you anything, because the seed still ain't growing. And with this 10 of Wands in the reverse, being in you guys' challenge is more or less saying to release this burden. What is the burden? It's the thing that you guys desperately need to walk away from. And I feel heavily it is a mindset, right? It's a defeatist attitude. You know what I'm saying? It's like if stuff isn't working, it just isn't working. It's not saying anything about you. It's not saying anything about anyone. It's just not working. And the whole key is to get to the root of why it is that it's not working. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. I'm saying does it make sense as if you can answer me. I always do that. Anyway, your underlying energy is the 9 of Cups. And then you guys above energy, we have the 4 of Swords. So that's pretty much what I was just saying here. The thing is there's a need to get back to the truth of what it is that you guys are really trying to get accomplished here, you know, because it's almost like you guys have gotten so wrapped up, right, into where it is that you are now. Like gotten so wrapped up into this mindset that's like you've lost sight of what it is that you're even doing in the first place. And I feel like what it is you were doing in the first place is trying to get to a space or a place where you're happy, where your wishes, your dreams, your hopes are fulfilled. So it's almost like a person who gets tainted by life, right? It's like the reason why this particular Sag person set out on this journey, right, is because you were looking to find meaning in life, to find purpose, to find happiness, what have you. On the journey, a whole bunch of stuff happened, right? That's our 10 of Wands. That's all the stuff that happened. So you started off with your little Ace of Wands, and you go through life and you pick up all of these other burdens, right? From different experiences and disappointments that you've been through. And that it's like you're carrying that on your back, right? That's the thing that needs to be walked away from, because I feel that's really the root of the problem. The whole thing is that you guys are so overburdened with stuff that you've been through in the past that you can't even get to a point to where you can look at the situation that you're in for what it is, right? Because every time something doesn't go right, or something doesn't grow, or an opportunity doesn't come, or it goes to someone else, you know what I'm saying? You didn't get that job, or you didn't get the raise, or any little thing that happens in your life day to day. Instead of just seeing this situation for what it is and going into assessment mode, like I was saying with the seeds, instead of doing that, it's like instantly you relive all of those tragedies when this one thing happens. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like one of those things where something happens and you start talking about all the times in the past that it happened. You know what I'm saying? Or you're talking as like, this is just like that time in the 5th grade. This is just like that time when I was in high school. This is just like that time when I was in college. And then this person and that person and this person and that person did that to me. And you end up reliving all of those traumas. Your challenge this month is to release all of that, to finally walk away from all of that and to allow those things to be what they are. But again, going back to what I was saying in the beginning with the star in the reverse of how you're trying so hard to get to this goal. Some of you are trying so hard to run away from your past that you're forgetting to learn the lessons from your past before you run away from it. And the reason why you keep repeating the same stuff and you feel like you're not going anywhere is because you're trying to leave before the lesson. You know what I'm saying? And that's not going to behoove you, you know? So like I say with Sagittarius, I love Sagittarius season because it falls in my favorite time of the year. And I look at you guys little, you know, half man, half horse person. I can't think of the word right now, but is it like the centaur? I think. Yeah, centaur. And the little arrow, it's like, I look at this time of the year as the perfect time to do what a bow and arrow does. And it goes backwards in order to go forwards to hit its target. And this is what I feel the message is for you guys, Sag. It's using your own energy to your benefit. I feel a lot of the stuff that you guys have been through, things that you're running away from or things that you're trying to fight, to get out of or get away from or disconnect yourself with, all of those past experiences in your present right now have so much information for you, right? And that's the reason why your target seems like a consistent moving target, because the approach is off. because all of the like, if we were to say literally, the resources and the materials that you need to build this proverbial staircase, the resources and material are the lessons that you learn from your experiences. And every single experience is a lesson. How you respond to it, how you're acting, like when you're in a crisis, how do you respond in a crisis? Do you progress or do you regress? You know, when a person challenges you, do you back down or do you stand up for yourself? When things aren't going your way, do you self-loathe and beat yourself up? Or do you rise up and persevere and fight through? And granted, I understand when it's been an extended period of a bunch of L's, it's hard to do that, but that's where your belief system comes in. That's where faith and hope comes in. But at the same time, there's a need to do the work, to slow down and to do the work and to see what it is that's being missed, that's stopping you. Because I honestly believe all of this, it's all internalized. And the same, like with this Four of Swords in you guys above energy, it's really a need to take a step back, to really look at, to really reevaluate and reassess what it is that you guys need to walk away from, or what it is that you're obsessing about that's completely outside of your realm of control, or what you can do to fill the gap in between where you are now and where you want to go. But it's like, if you approach something with a defeatist mindset, it's like you've lost before you've even tried. And then going forward, you guys have the Four of Cups. So with the Four of Cups, man, you guys are at a crossroads. You guys are at a point to where, you know, you can't, but I would say don't want to go backwards, right? But you don't yet know how to move forward, right? And I feel the how in one moves forward. It's, I don't really think you guys have a question on where it is that you want to go. For some of you, it could be that. For some of you, you may need to kind of sit and ponder on where it is that you want to go moving forward. But I really feel like this is about unearth. Well, no, I can say that. I can say literally, for if we were to split this into two different group of Sagittarius people, there's some Sages that don't know where they're trying to go. And that would be the reason why one keeps going in circles, because there is no end goal. So it's just kind of like floating through life, trying to figure out, or thinking it's going to reveal itself to you. But it's like the answers to where it is that you're going lie within you. So there's a heavy theme of needing to recover from things that have disappointed you in the past and walking away from that for yourself. Because it's like consistently reliving things that have happened in the past isn't serving you. And it's preventing you from seeing opportunities it is that you have in the present, or being able to really sort through them, because you're not really dealing with what you're encountering at present, because you're reliving past situations before you can even really deal with what it is that you are going through now, right? And then for others of you, it's, you do know where you want to go, but it's like, what ordained you or anointed you for where it is that you're trying to go is your day-to-day experience. It's like all of this stuff ties into each other. It's like there's not some big, you know, conspiracy of your life being unnecessarily hard. It's like all of us have hard lives. All of us have less than stellar experience. But the thing that you need to understand about this whole construct of your living experience in a body is that your history is what qualifies you for what it is that you're here to do. So if you ignore the experience, you're not qualified for the purpose or the reason that you're here, which is the reason why you would never get there. So it's like, if my purpose here is to help people change their minds, and all of the stuff I went through my entire life was pointing to the fact of like, I've been through all this traumatic stuff. It screwed up the way I think about myself, the way I think about other people in my life. But I'm called to help people change the way that they think. How could I ever possibly do that if I didn't first realize the source and the root of a lot of my issues were in my own head, and then two, learn how to fix that? Like, how could I teach other people how to do that? You know what I'm saying? That qualifies all of my experience, which is why there's no, like, I don't dwell on stuff that went awry in my life. It's like, once I realized that, it made everything make sense. Cause it was like, holy crap. It's like, since I came out the womb, it's like I started training right then and there. It's like everything in my life makes sense because all of my experiences prepared me for what it is that I'm doing. And it's like, it's the same thing for everyone. It's not like it's two different things. So I say that to empower you, Sag. Everything that you've been through in your life is not accidental. We can judge it and say, oh, that's not fair, this and that. We could do all of that. But it's like, realistically, you went through what it is that you went through. It may not have been right. It may not have been fair. It may not have been enjoyable. Coming from my background, I feel you. You know, it's really not great. However, it's like there's a method to the madness. It's like you have a unique experience. You have a solution to someone else's problem. So whatever your problem is, the easiest thing about life, dog, is everybody has problems. Every problem has a solution, right? If it's not a tangible 3D solution, the solution lies in how you're perceiving it, right? And it's allowing everything here to be in service to you. So even your greatest trauma and tragedy can be the greatest gift just with a shift of perspective, right? So it's kind of connecting all of the dots of your life experience and allowing yourself to transcend past, this isn't fair, or this was wrong, and people always do this to me. It's transcending past that. Yeah, people did always do that to me. I don't even need to know the why of why it is that people did it to me, because we're never going to know what other people's motives were. But what can you learn from it that's high vibrational? It's like, what did that develop in you that falls within this middle road? Not like, oh, I can't trust nobody, stay away from people, or I'm worthless and I'm not good enough. It's like, these are all reflective questions that I feel sages need to kind of sit with and meditate on and challenge themselves to overcome. The easy way out with this would be just writing it off and just saying there's horrible people in the world and really messed up stuff happened to me and my life has just been really bad and bad stuff just keeps happening and that's just what it is. That's the easy way out. But the reason why I feel like things are on pause for you guys, especially now, dude, it's like, it's your birthday season, solar return. It's like y'all are getting 2 proverbial New Years, both for your birthday and then going into the actual new year. And it's an opportunity to really look back at your life. If you just look back at this time last year and be honest with yourself of what it is you set to accomplish and what got in the way of that. And if you feel that's a block, what's a way around it? It's like the stuff that hasn't worked out. Is it really that bad? Like, did you really want that? And I don't know why I feel like I need to say this, but as you think about a relationship that didn't work out in your life, are you really mad that relationship didn't work out? It's like, did you really want that for your life? You feel what I'm saying, dude? Like, I don't know. It's like, I feel this is a great opportunity, but it's all centralized around a perspective shift and it's needing to get back to you, man. And it's needing to be present in the moment. It's like, this is 2 different people, one who is spending way too much time in the past and another person who's spending way too much time in the future. And the problem with both of those is you aren't present. If you're not present in the moment and using this time, because the present is all that exists, if you're not present and aware and mindful right now, the only thing you can do if you're stuck in the past is recreate your past in your present. And if you're stuck in the future, right, the only thing that you could do is recreate your past and your present into your future. And why that cycle exists is because no changes are being made in the present, because the future doesn't exist without the present. The only thing that creates the future is choices that are made in the present. But it's just, I don't know, man, it's almost like scales being over one's eyes of the past, even with a person who's focused on the future. Because it's like, you may say you've left your past behind, but it's just jumping from one side to the other. But I understand that because it's like on this whole Likert scale of life, you have to go from being stuck in your past to outrunning your past by being focused on the future, and then realizing that a person who's stuck in the past and a person who is focused on the future are two sides of one coin. And that's when you can transcend both to live in the present. And you realize that the main place I've neglected with me running so far from my past, I've totally neglected to realize that the present is where it's at. Because it's both are an illusion. The past is gone. The future is but a dream. And that dream will never be that until you take advantage of the present moment. I hope this makes sense, Sagittarius. I love your face. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, I'm going over to Vimeo, my website, YouTube members, and Patreon to do you guys extended. So if you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, I still love your freaking face. And I will see you guys sooner than later. Love your face.